After being blacklisted across the internet for the plagiarism incident, I publicly announced that I would retire from writing. My boyfriend, who was still indignant and accusing me, was stunned. "What are you doing? You said there were still a lot of debts to pay." Right. His first love, the victim of the plagiarism incident, also became flustered. "Kimberly, you don't have to punish yourself like this. I'm willing to give you a chance to start over." I looked at the flashing floodlights in the audience. My expression remained unmoved. In my previous life, the two of them mocked me while colluding to steal my creative works. Ultimately, the words I painstakingly wrote brought Linda the fame of a brilliant writer. This time around, I directly canceled the author pen name I had used for 6 years. I've had enough of living in a crowded rental apartment. It's time to go back home and inherit my family's fortune. As for Linda, I wonder how you will finish the remaining half of the work. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. May I ask, Miss Kimberly? You always claim to have evidence proving you didn't plagiarize. So where is the evidence? As your former reader, I really don't want to believe you would do something like this. Were your previous works really written by you? Facing the numerous microphones pointed at me, I was first taken aback. Then my heart started beating violently. I have reincarnated to the day when I had to hold a press conference to prove my innocence. In my previous life, my boyfriend's ex-girlfriend plagiarized my novel, which was based on my own unrequited love story. It topped the website's bestseller list on the day of the test, creating a bestseller legend in the youth campus genre. After being reshared by Big V marketing accounts, countless netizens exclaimed that it was touching and moving. I originally intended to show my original manuscript as proof, but I didn't expect that on the day of the press conference. My files were erased, leaving no trace at all. I have experienced unprecedented online bullying, and I receive flower wreaths, black and white photos, and scary packages from all over every day. I gritted my teeth and continued creating, but I was eventually attacked by extreme fans and stabbed to death. At the moment, I was only hesitant for a while. My boyfriend of 3 years, Larry, couldn't help but burst into passion. "Kimberly, if you were slandered, then show us the evidence. Don't just make false accusations and throw dirt at people," he shouted at me angrily. But there was a fleeting look of satisfaction in his eyes. Yes, he would know what's in my folder. He wants me to be disgraced, so that Linda can become the new popular writer. I lowered my eyes, picked up the computer, and went to the projector, turned it on, and projected. The next moment, with everyone's astonished gaze, I deleted my author pen name that I had used for 6 years. Larry and Linda stood up immediately. I coldly spoke. "Everyone, I have been wronged today, and the evidence has been destroyed by someone with ill intentions, making it hard for me to defend myself. This pen name is invalid from today. I am retiring, and I will never get involved in the online literature circle again," I said, and was about to leave with my computer. Larry rushed to me in an instant and blocked my way. "What are you doing? You said you still had a lot of debts to pay. You said you wouldn't write anymore. Isn't writing your greatest dream?" Linda was also panicked. She came over, her eyes filled with tears. "Kimberly, you don't need to punish yourself like this. I'm willing to give you a chance to start over." I laughed coldly at the two of them performing. Next second, Linda suddenly bit her lips and knelt down in front of me. "Kimberly, I beg you not to leave the circle over such a small matter. Your readers will definitely not let me off. I can delete all the information, as if nothing ever happened. If you leave the circle, I will be in big trouble. I won't write anymore either." The shutter sound, click click, instantly focused on her. The gold medal editor who originally belonged to me couldn't help but come over to help her up. "Linda, what are you talking about? Why are you kneeling before a plagiarist? She's reaping what she sowed. You've just signed a big star contract with the company. Don't forget, there's more work to be done later." I didn't want to stay here and be attacked, so I just left the scene. To avoid being surrounded by reporters, I took a back alley and hailed a taxi back to my apartment. On the way back, my Twitter messages kept popping up. I opened them and found that 4 of the top 10 hot search topics were about me. Hashtag Kimberly Plagiarism Hashtag Kimberly Linda Hashtag Linda Forced to Kneel Hashtag Linda Ghostwriter The heartless marketing accounts deny all the works I ever created. They all say it's my plagiarism, Linda, threatening Linda to be my ghostwriter. My Twitter comments are all filled with insults. Wow, so disgusting. I followed an plagiarist. I watched the live broadcast, and Kimberly was so intimidated she couldn't say a word, and finally was forced Linda to kneel. If you don't know when to stop and quit the industry, I'll ruin you. Even her boyfriend stood up to accuse her. Kimberly, what have you done? I think she's made enough money and is running away. Support Linda to take her all the way to court. My back comments are all vulgarities. By contrast, Linda's Twitter follower count has been rising sharply, and there are also many warm, encouraging comments below. I commented once, "Hope you can continue to post daily and finish the second half. Don't let the readers down. I know. I don't have much draft left." Linda is too eager, worried that I hadn't stockpiled enough drafts before posting, so she just took the initiative first. But she can't fulfill the clues and Easter eggs I set earlier. Exposing her is just a matter of time. I returned to my apartment, a 90-square-foot house, not too big and not too small. I have decorated it to be warm and comfortable. A photo pasted in the shape of a heart on the old wall. I and Larry's photo. They were all photos I secretly took and had printed by someone else. He never wanted to take a photo with me. He also didn't want to post on Instagram. And on anniversaries he would even disappear in advance. These years, rent and utility bills were all paid by me. And the money for meals, shopping, and going out was mostly mine too. I immediately proposed to the landlord to terminate the lease despite the risk of paying a breach of contract fee. I threw away the things that needed to be thrown, and packed as quickly as possible. Just as I was busy and hectic, someone knocked on the door. I opened the door and found Larry and Linda. "Kimberly, are you moving out?" Linda pretended to shake my hand upon entering, but I coldly pulled my hand away, and Larry looked at me coldly, his contempt clearly visible in his expression. "Moving? From what I know, her father has already passed away from illness. These years, the money she earned by writing so hard was used to pay off the medical debts her father had incurred. This house has a monthly rent of $2,000, and she would be stingy about it. If she moves, she can only move to some dilapidated single-room dormitory." I looked at him without any expression and said, "What do you want?" Larry said with disgust, "Apologize to Linda and publicly admit that you plagiarized." My eyebrows twitched slightly. Is that what a person would say? I angrily asked him, "Larry, don't you know the truth? For these years, you've been eating and drinking from me. Now, how dare you say such words?" Larry's face showed no sign of softening. He spoke with a sense of righteousness. "Just because you're a fatherless, jobless hanger-on, and Linda has always been the princess who gets everything she wants. Do you not know that Linda's parents are high school teachers? And she's better than you in every way. My boyfriend since university is now attacking me with the most vicious words. He only knows that I come from a single-parent family and moved out to live with my mother due to differences in ideas. But he doesn't know that my mother is the head of a transnational group in the Asia-Pacific region. After my father passed away, he left us a fortune worth 8 digits. I could say that if it weren't for me choosing to stay here to avoid inheriting the family business, I would be a person Larry could never reach in his whole life." Seeing that I didn't say anything, Larry thought his attack had worked, and he laughed coldly as he continued speaking. "Some people are born as princesses, while others can never be more than a servant in the shadows, no matter how hard they try. If I were you, I would just leave in a hurry and leave all this stuff for Linda. What are you waiting for? Go to Twitter and publicly apologize to Linda. Or don't blame me for being harsh." But the next second, I raised my hand and gave Larry a solid slap. This slap was so strong that Larry's face turned to the side. His eyes widened, and immediately red blood vessels appeared on his eyeballs. "Kimberly, how dare you hit someone?" Linda screamed and immediately took 2 steps back to take out her phone to film. However, I grabbed her phone first and then swung my suitcase to knock the 2 of them aside. I was wildly venting my anger, smashing whatever I could get my hands on, because I didn't plan to take anything anymore. "If you like my things so much, then I'll just give them all to you." The surroundings were in a mess, with items shattered everywhere. I opened the door and walked out of this place where I had lived for 3 years. I called my mom. We hadn't been in touch for years, but when I made the call, she answered immediately. In that moment, my tears flowed uncontrollably. In my previous life, from the day I graduated from university and left in anger, until I was killed, I never had a chance to say a word to my mom. I couldn't imagine how painful it would be for her to hear about my death. This time, I just want to be my mom's lazy little snack. Just come home. Come home. My mom's voice kept trembling, and by the end, she could only repeat those 4 words. Soon, I boarded the flight back to Shanghai. Before boarding, I took a look Twitter, and found Linda again pretended to post something. "Sorry everyone, I need to take a break for a while. The recent events have made me feel a bit broken, and Kimberly has always been someone I greatly respect. I want to take some time off to adjust myself." The editor who once showed me so much care, Mandy, also quickly shared this tweet. "Dear readers, please give Linda some time to produce better works. Next month, we will hold a fan meeting event in Shanghai, and we hope you can all come and join us." It was clearly trying to push Linda into the direction of a popular author. I sighed, turned off my phone, and fell into a deep sleep. When I got off the plane, my mom was already there with a driver, bodyguard, and a Rolls-Royce. She said she had heard about my situation and was preparing to find a friend to handle the public relations, while also contacting a lawyer to file a lawsuit. "We will pursue this matter to the end, and it's absolutely impossible for my daughter to suffer any harm." I lay in my mother's arms, and her hand kept stroking my back, her chin gently resting on my forehead. The car was filled with various delicacies and my favorite drink from before. My mother didn't want me to get hungry, so she started preparing as soon as she got my call. I hugged my mother tightly. "Don't worry, Mom. It's not necessary to go through so much trouble." I smiled and said, "It won't be long before the real plagiarist gets their comeuppance." It felt really great to go back to our big villa at home. No need to get up early to buy vegetables and prepare meals for 3 meals a day. And I didn't have to wash my own clothes. The balance in my bank account had so many zeros that I couldn't even count them. And I never had to worry about rent and expenses every month. My mother specially arranged a study room for me. There are several walls of books and a top-of-the-line computer, which supports me in doing anything I want. I get up early every day to sunbathe by the floor-to-ceiling window, do some yoga and beauty treatments, and have a full banquet for lunch. Afternoon shopping and tea, learning horseback yoga and golf, a glass of red wine, soaking in a spacious bathtub, falling asleep to the lullaby of a sound engineer my mother specially hired. My physical and mental condition have improved greatly, far beyond what they used to be. However, at the same time, with Linda's long-term absence from updates, some dissatisfaction began to appear online. People started to question, "Linda really can't write anymore. Could it be that Kimberly was telling the truth back then? There's no reason for Linda to be absent for so long when she was so popular. She has no sense of professional ethics at all. Is she playing with us? Get our money back right away." Linda also got worried, and she started posting on Twitter more frequently. I know her well. She has always been good-looking, and she's used to relying on men, without any real talent or ability. It's harder for her to write a few words than to kill her. Besides, my book is completely based on my own real situation, telling about my unrequited love for a senior. But Larry could only tell some events to Linda even if he knew me well. So Linda couldn't bear the pressure and reluctantly wrote a chapter under Larry's guidance. But the sharp drop in data and the flood of negative comments soon made her delete it. Then she started to complain on Twitter, saying she had an illness and was about to have surgery, and was really unable to do it. But she also made a promise that she would present a work that satisfies everyone at the offline meeting. That day, I was shopping at Hermes, thinking about what bag to match with the new clothes, when editor Mandy suddenly sent me a message saying she wanted to meet me. Kimberly, I saw your IP address is in Shanghai, and I just happened to be here on a business trip. Let's have a good chat. Maybe I misunderstood you. My heart started to beat rapidly. I had thought that I would be vindicated, but I never expected Mandy to come to me this time. Was actually to persuade me to continue helping Linda finish her work. At the coffee shop, Mandy looked at the new Chanel I was wearing, and let out a slightly scornful laugh. Just tell me the price. Kimberly, I know your family is in financial difficulty. How much do you want to keep writing? Linda is the golden brand of our website now. She has created huge profits for us, and the website is absolutely determined to keep her. In the few minutes of silence, it felt as if I had lived through a century. Now your pen name has been cancelled. Your old readers are gone. And besides, your previous success was also due to the website's effort to promote you. Mandy pushed the coffee cup away and leaned forward a bit. 500,000. That's enough for you to replace this outfit with something real, and also help you continue doing the things you want to do. Seeing her meaningful gaze, my face turned completely dark. Mandy, what kind of person does she think I am? What does she think I'm doing in Shanghai now? Okay. I squeezed out the 2 words between my teeth. No problem. I've already drafted the outline. It just needs 3 days. And I'll finish the remaining 10,000 words for you. Mandy stood up excitedly. Great. Then it's settled. I'll be waiting for you here in 3 days. I grabbed my bag and turned to leave. After I went back, I opened the computer and started writing according to the outline I had previously sketched in my notebook. Maybe because of the rest I had taken recently, my inspiration and energy were very abundant. 3 days later, I handed her the manuscript with 2 dark circles under my eyes. Mandy was overjoyed, but she still carefully reviewed the manuscript in front of me. Only after confirming there were no problems did I let out a breath, transferred 500,000 on the spot to me, and signed a confidentiality agreement with me. But Mandy doesn't know. Once these drafts are uploaded to the website, the formatting will no longer be the same. At that time, the first character of the text in the middle few lines will appear together with a sentence. Linda is the plagiarist. After getting the draft, Linda seemed to have regained her vitality overnight, and was even able to directly counterattack her critics. She posted the word count of the document and angrily denounced, "I will never finish a work carelessly just for views. I want quality, something that I can be proud of." This bold declaration earned her even more support, and the forum was filled with praise. I scrolled through her comment section, and among them, a user named Moira stood out particularly. This user's Twitter is all about Linda. It contains countless train tickets for round trips over the past 3 years, and many small observations documenting the girl's preferences. From his history of profile pictures, I found out that he is Larry. I finally realized. He proposed to me when he graduated from university, just to upset Linda. Soon, Linda's reader meeting arrived. She previously stated that she would upload the remaining content of her books live, allowing readers to get their fill all at once. It was too tempting. So on the day of the meeting, the whole hall was packed. People who didn't know about it might have thought it was a popular star coming. Readers were holding homemade signboards, and the cheers were so loud they seemed to break the sky. Oh, my Linda is really beautiful. Not only is the goddess talented, but she's also so beautiful. It's making me feel like I can't live anymore. I love reading your books so much. Can you sign one for me? I'm so excited I might go crazy. When is it going to be published? I want to buy 10 copies to keep at home. Everyone, please don't crowd. Don't crowd. You're blocking me. facing the reader's questions. Linda also answered them as Larry taught her. Of course, the senior is excellent. He went abroad right after graduation. He was my first love in my memories of youth. I would just dare to walk by his classroom after class, and he would always be standing in the corridor chatting with people. I was most looking forward to the break time when we all ran together and had lunch, because that was when I could get close to him openly. I even specially opened a yellow diamond to secretly browse the senior's space. I was too shy to look up at him, and I would act like I was cold. Haha, I think he still doesn't know that I used to like him until now. Linda spoke with a shy and coy expression, just like a high school girl who had a crush on her dream guy. Sometimes she would lower her eyes, as if reliving the pain of unrequited love. Finally, the most exciting moment arrived. The screen displayed Linda's remaining manuscript. This highly anticipated book finally reached its conclusion. Readers also took out their phones to open Linda's book and send gifts and tickets. The audience was filled with sighs, all agreeing that it was a masterpiece, and the later parts were even more moving than the earlier ones. Gradually, some sobbing sounds began to emerge, until someone noticed something wrong. Wait, what does this mean on page 3 of chapter 98? It looks like the beginning of the sentence connects to one line. Linda is actually a plagiarist. The audience was in an uproar. Immediately, someone responded, "Wow, really? I was wondering why there suddenly appeared a character. Could it be the real author of this book is someone else? Oh my God. What kind of supernatural event is this? Or is it the original author subtly hinting at the truth? Have we been deceived all along?" The scene was chaotic, and staff quickly removed the new chapter. But many people had already seen it. Book fans were outraged, shouting for Linda to give an explanation. She responded quickly, shouting, "Absurd. This is absolutely absurd. It's impossible. This is my original work. Someone tampered with my manuscript. Who touched my computer? It wasn't like this at all." But immediately, a reader retorted, "Who could tamper with your computer? You always carry it with you. Right. So it's just a coincidence that it was tampered with today. If you have the ability, write a side story right now to prove yourself. If the style and plot are consistent, we will believe you." Exactly. Hurry up and write it. You always say you want to give back to readers, so writing a side story shouldn't be too hard for you. Right. Surrounded by microphones, Linda covered her chest and acted as if she was having a heart attack. She took a couple of labored breaths, then closed her eyes and collapsed straight down. This caused the entire audience to go into chaos, with many fans rushing onto the stage demanding that the deleted chapters be restored. Larry immediately rushed out of the crowd and picked her up, his eyes bulging with rage as he shouted for a doctor. He rushed out and just happened to brush past me standing at the outer edge. At that moment, the scene had become completely chaotic, with everyone rushing onto the stage to get a closer look at the words on the big screen. Linda herself was no longer in the spotlight of the readers. "Kimberly, how can you still show your face? Today's incident must all be your doing." Larry looked extremely angry. His eyes filled with hatred as he looked at me like I was his father's murderer. "You're jealous Linda has my affection, so you've always found her annoying. I know that. But your methods today are just too despicable. You can't stand for me to be happy with her, so you want to ruin her. You bitch. Just wait. If Linda has any misfortune today, I'll kill you." He roared at me, just like a general who was furious for the sake of a woman. Just as Larry was about to push past my shoulder and run out, I spoke lightly. "Larry, do you think I'm with you just because I like you?" His steps halted. He tensed up and turned back. "You know, the person I had a crush on left for abroad after graduation. I accepted your proposal not only to heal but also." I smiled and pointed at his nose. "You have a small mole here, like him. But unfortunately, a substitute can never be compared to the original." Linda, after this whole drama, the website had originally planned to create a personal IP through this event and make a wave of traffic. But it ended up in vain, and instead faced a flood of abuse and doubts. Some people started digging up the past conflict between me and Linda and called out to the website's official. Kimberly has been a bestseller for years, and such a person was accused of plagiarism. I had my doubts from the beginning, but it was because of your official support for Linda that we chose to believe. Linda, her speech at the meeting was illogical and unimpressive, except for answering those few questions about her crushes. But who can guarantee that this isn't a pre-arranged script? I saw her article she posted and quickly deleted recently. It was as full of nonsense as a primary school student's. Is this her real level? This is the first time I've seen such a website. It doesn't distinguish between right and wrong just for traffic. I want my money back. I'll recharge again. I'm a dog. You guys are really despicable, chasing away your own veteran masters for a plagiarist. It's truly self-inflicted. But some netizens are willing to let the bullets fly for a while. Now the only way to prove Linda is to let her type on the spot for everyone. Otherwise she's a plagiarist. But Linda has always been thinking about making enough traffic from this book to go into the self-media field. She has never put in any effort from the beginning. Twitter posted one beautifully edited photo after another. She pays more attention to the compliments about her beauty. Now the website has realized what's going on. But it can't escape the sharp drop in market value. Suffering from the backlash of traffic, the boss, in a fit of anger, directly fired Mandy, and took Linda around to various drinking parties to ask people for help. It is said Linda was dressed up like a butterfly, and the reasons behind it are hard to comment on. This website is just trying to make one last desperate attempt. My mom knows all about the Shanghai Circle, and she had already asked all her friends to ignore it. Today, unfortunately, the person the boss approached was my mom. When my mom showed me the invitation message from the other party, I almost laughed out loud. Dear, this game has gone on long enough. Should I just refuse him and then contact a lawyer to sue? I laughed and stopped my mom. It's okay, Mom. Tell him that Linda will go this time. I haven't had a good chat with her for a long time. A few days later, Linda showed up in the hotel lobby dressed up carefully. Larry also came along as her assistant. At that moment, I was feeding the small fish by the artificial mountain in the lobby, and I heard a sharp shout from afar. Kimberly. Larry stepped forward first, grabbing my arm. Why are you so persistent and keep coming back here? His grip hurt me badly, and I didn't hesitate to slap him back. Take your dirty hands off me. Do you think this hotel is your private property where only you can enter? Kimberly, do you know this hotel costs $88.88? You don't even deserve to stand here. Linda finally dropped all pretenses, glaring at me with intense hatred. You're just someone who lives in a rented apartment. Your boyfriend doesn't love you, and you'll never deserve anything good in your life. She was attacking me relentlessly, thinking those words would make me suffer. However, I simply said a few words in a casual manner. No matter what, I am here as a guest. And you, are you also invited here to eat? You. Linda suddenly felt defeated, her chest rising and falling with anger. She tried to calm down and coldly said, Guest. It seems you came to Shanghai to be a mistress of a rich man. How could such a high-class place allow someone like you in? Laugh. Do you know who I came to see today? Ms. Feng. If you're so ignorant, go search online. I'm sure your boss isn't as good as Mr. Nora. One finger. Larry immediately joined Linda in mutual hatred. Yes. Kimberly, you don't know your limits. You'll regret it when you're played with and thrown out. I looked at him without any expression. Larry, every word he said I will remember. Today I'll make sure he never leaves. What stunned the two of them soon appeared. A short while later, my mother entered with several assistants, efficient and decisive. Oh, Mr. Nora. I'm Linda. It's an honor to meet you. Linda eagerly approached to introduce herself, but my mother didn't even look at her. She directly went to me, took my hand in hers, and gently asked, Are you cold? Why are you standing at the door? Go in and order food. You always loved this place the most. Right. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Linda's expression freeze. Mr. Nora. I deliberately imitated Linda's tone. Then you go in first. I'll be there in a moment. My mother understood my meaning. She nodded. And before going upstairs, she specifically assigned 2 bodyguards to me. Linda immediately looked at Larry. What's going on? Why does she seem so close to Nora? Could it be that Nora is her mother? Larry frowned and immediately denied it. How could that be? Look at Kimberly's poor look. She doesn't look like a lady like that. Does she? I heard some rich women have very twisted hobbies. Maybe Nora is one of them after getting old. Before Larry could finish speaking, I gave a glance to the bodyguards to take him aside and deal with him. What are you doing? Are you beating someone in broad daylight? Are you going to call the police? Help! Someone help me! Larry was lifted like a chicken and taken away, and he soon lost his courage, his voice trembling. I'm here to see an important person. You won't get away with this. She won't let you off. However, these well-trained bodyguards paid no attention to him.
You couldn't write by yourself, so you stole someone else's work. How could I have trusted you so much? I was really stupid, and we've all been fooled by you. The boss became more and more angry, and directly grabbed Linda's hair and slapped her twice. Linda's face immediately swelled up, and she couldn't hold back anymore, starting to cry. The boss immediately cursed. You still have the face to cry. You have the courage to do it, but not to take responsibility. Our website's reputation has been ruined by you. Who would dare to invest in us anymore after this? You're a rotten egg that spoils the whole pot. Don't take on a job you can't handle. How dare you frame others? I really can't believe I had such an author. I just laughed coldly watching them fight like dogs. Back then Mandy did to me on behalf of the website. I still remember it clearly. Now he wants to wash his hands of it. That's not possible. You still have the face to show up here. Go to Twitter right now and post an apology statement. The boss clearly came here prepared. He had already written a text in advance and forced Linda to send it to Twitter. Let her admit to her act of plagiarism and publicly apologize to me. This Twitter post quickly sparked a hot search. Netizens, after facing the speculated truth, felt angry and regretful. It was us who drove away a writer who truly cared about her books. Hashtag apologize to Kimberly. Hashtag ask Kimberly to come back. Hashtag started to rise continuously. The square was filled with my former readers crying and reminiscing about the scene when they first started following my books. Kimberly was really good. She always wrote 3 updates every day, without fail, regardless of weather. I was in elementary school back then, and now I'm almost a high school student. I have read every one of her books, and back then I didn't believe she would plagiarize, let alone hire a ghostwriter. It's really painful. After she stopped writing, there was no substitute across the internet, and I lost my source of mental nourishment. Kimberly, come back. I have saved a lot of votes for you. I will give them all to you. The boss presented the phone to my mother like offering a treasure. I had thought my mother would stop there and help him make a comeback. However, facing the boss's calculating eyes, my mother just coldly said a sentence. We have already prepared evidence. Your website and this girl will be waiting for a lawsuit. Not only Linda was disgraced, Larry and my story were also sorted out by fans and released. Originally Larry had been chasing Linda for many years. He could do anything for the goddess of his heart. It was he who had orchestrated this fake baby swap plagiarism incident. Wow, this dog is worse than a scumbag, eating the bowl's rice while looking at the pots. I thought he was doing the right thing, but I didn't expect him to be helping his first love harm his girlfriend. What a human being is this? A beast. A scumbag. Taking advantage of others while eating their food. Really disgusting. Those 2 scumbags should be locked up and die. I've never seen such an annoying person. Girls, I also saw this scumbag's Twitter side account. He really is always betraying from the inside out. Those past online bullying and doxing I suffered have now come back to me tenfold. Linda and Larry. It topped the website's bestseller list on the day of the book test, creating a sales legend in the youth campus genre. Larry had already been sent to the hospital, but then he was visited every day in various ways by angry citizens. He soon couldn't bear the pressure and left the hospital forcefully. He realized that licking his own first love would only bring him nothing, and he tried several times to contact me to get back together. Would the angry netizens ever give him a chance to catch his breath? He finally couldn't take care of himself anymore, and after paying off all his debts, He left his hometown in a hurry, carrying a lot of illnesses. As for Linda, her situation was much worse. On one hand, she had to deal with the lawsuit. On the other hand, she had to bear the huge compensation proposed by the website, plus the overwhelming online bullying. She soon couldn't bear it anymore, and her mental state began to deteriorate. One night, after seeing the red paint splashed on the door again, she completely broke down and jumped from the upper floor. At that time, I was preparing a new website with my mother. I wanted to give every young person who loved creating an equal opportunity. Here, everyone can fully express their imagination and write the stories they want to write. A variety of flowers bloom, and people can speak freely. I think this is the true nature of literary creation. End of text.